Reddit is one of those places where I have heard stuff that I wish I had never heard about, and I've also heard about stuff that I would have never found out about, and I'm so glad I did. It's just super interesting shit. Like 2013 and 14 were like the prime years of Reddit for me, where I really got into creepypastas. And there was also this meme that was viral back then that was called the Confession Bear.
I think that you've told me about that.
Where people confessed to some terrible shit that they wouldn't normally tell anyone, and they would make these throwaway accounts and just like make a meme and put it on there, and it was just like interesting. But something that became very popular was the Ask Reddit posts, where people would ask a question that would apply to, you know, pretty wide range of people who could answer it. And
Chad's teaching me. The only time that I've really ever been on Reddit is when I Google a question, and that's where the answer comes from. But I've never just like been on it, so I don't. Yeah. Right.
So some of these videos have been, you know, something I've watched for a while, and they're usually like really jacked up confessions, or like, you know, people will ask something like, you know, what was the most glorious experience you've ever had seeing somebody quit their job, or like what's the most epic rage quit you've ever seen at a job.
Gotcha.
And they're just very interesting. This one is from this one is from r/, and it's Ask Reddit, how did you catch your significant other cheating?
Nice. Close to home. Not this one. But, yeah.
Not me. I'm faithful.
Yeah. Been there. Done that. Was married.
I've never had that well, I've never caught
somebody
that I was...
Well, not like physically. I didn't like walk into the room and see him, you know, bumping uglies or whatever. Right. But, I mean, yeah, no, I caught my husband cheating, and people go, oh, I can't believe you're married. And like, me and Chad are not married. We're not brother and sister. No. We're not married. We're just dating.
Or cousins. Yeah. Don't even go there.
That we know of. But yeah, so I don't know how in depth I need to go, but
I mean, that's on you.
I was married. We were going to a concert. I was trying to look up like restaurants to eat, and you know, saw his mistress, which I guess is weird to say, but that's what she was, pop up, and there was a whole conversation and pictures that I didn't want to see, and we all worked together, which was super fun, and the pictures were like in the bathroom from our workplace, and I was like, wow, all right, yeah. Put my 2 weeks notice in and just gritted my teeth. I don't know why I didn't just quit then.
Yeah, you totally worked.
I worked
for two weeks. That is... No, but yeah. I am not going to judge trauma. You went through your thing.
Well, I mean, I didn't know what the fuck I was going to do. I had bills to pay, and
I'd have burned that motherfucker down.
It was really weird. And then, like, so, like, everybody knew, like, we were married and stuff, so people were just like, what do you know, I'd been gone for, like, a week. I missed, like, a week of work, which is, like, a big deal, because, like, I didn't have vacation time built up and all this, and people were like, oh, my God, are you sick? Are you okay? And I'm like, I just thought that you guys knew what was going on. They're like, no. And I was like, yeah, he's, like, with the other girl now. And they were like, what? And it became this big thing. And apparently after I quit, like, they would, like, have lunch together and stuff. And people were just like, what the fuck? What? So, I mean, good for them. They're not together anymore. But, you know, good for them. And,
goddamn.
Don't cheat on your person.
Don't be cheating on your person. Just leave the person. And if you can't do that, then don't be fucking around.
Well, I mean, I was even like, man, we've been doing this for like 7 years, and it's just not working out. And he's, no, it's working. And if you're going to go cheat, then just be like, yeah, you know what? This is an easy out.
That's an easy out. But the one that sucks that you had to take that blow.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm sorry that happened to you. But It's really cool that
It's
you
really good
are
that
able to talk about it.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, I would have never met you. Well, I probably would have met you, but we wouldn't have dated.
You would have met me, and you would have been swooning over me, and maybe we would have had a tryst of our own. Maybe I would have stole you away anyway.
Oh, I love
Anyway, this is Ask Reddit. How did you catch your significant other cheating? Oh my God. I bet you there's some jacked up stuff on here.
Maybe it'll make me feel better about my situation.
Yeah. You just found pictures.
Oh.
Shit.
Dude, I don't know about these people who just like walk in and like.
Welcome to r/Ask Reddit, where users answer your most burning questions. Today's Ask Reddit question is, men and women of Reddit who caught their significant others cheating, how did you do that, and what was their reaction? Our first reply is from Headcase and a Half. June 1st, 2018. A normal day. A Friday. My husband had kissed me goodbye and gone to work. I was cleaning the house for company who was coming to stay the weekend. The doorbell rang. There was a man at my door who introduced himself as the husband of a woman who my husband worked with. He was there to tell me that my husband and his wife were having an affair. He had busted them about 6 months prior and had told his wife that she had to end the affair. He thinks that she did end it for about 3 months, but then they started up again. When he found out that they were at it again, he called my husband because he knew if he confronted him in person, he'd be in a jail cell for what he'd have done. On the phone, he told my husband to leave his wife alone or else he would come and tell me everything that was happening.
Should have anyway.
Apparently, my husband thought that he was bluffing.
Oh.
So I literally was the last to know. My husband never came home again.
Same.
He got an Airbnb and a lawyer. The divorce was December 21st, 2018. We had been together for 24 years. It still hurts.
Holy
This guy was with her
shit.
for 24 years and doesn't even bother to come back home to say goodbye? Wow, that's cold as ice. Our next reply is from Rabbit Overlord. My ex and I used to share a computer. She was getting messages from her first boyfriend. I didn't bother reading them because I figured he was just saying hi or wanted to know where she was in life now. A couple of months later, I'm on the computer, and she insisted that she log out while I'm there. Okay, things feel weird here. Another couple of days pass, and she wants to visit her parents. Okay, cool, I keep the kids and she goes off. I get a call from one of my buddies who works at a hotel where my ex and I are both from, saying that my wife just checked in with another guy. So, long story short, I divorced her. F you, Stephanie. 10% replies to that. Good job. It was a brotel hotel. Our next reply is from KJV. I caught my wife after she passed away from cancer. Worst feeling ever. Caught between unending love, mourning, and absolute anger. Oh, ow.
Jesus,
God,
dude.
OP, that one hurts to read.
That's like
and
hard
when
to
someone
even...
asks OP how he found out, he says, her phone that she was overly protective of is how I found out. A week before she passed, she took the passwords off her phone so I could respond to her texts and take care of her business. After she passed, maybe a week or two after she passed, I explored her phone and found numerous texts, emails, and sexting. Our next reply is from SCM. This is almost word for word how the conversation went. Are you sleeping with so-and-so? Yeah. Want a divorce? Kinda. Okay, I'll file tomorrow. When someone asks if that's really how the conversation went, OP replies, oh yeah, it was a super civil conversation. We were just both at a point where we were just tired. Let's just rip the band-aid off and get it over with.
Sometimes
Our next reply is from Need More Username. I went for my yearly checkup and tested positive for chlamydia. Turns out my ex was sleeping around. And Brooklyn 9 Parks replies to that. This happened to me too. But my ex faked a doctor's note with the words negative, yet he was still prescribed antibiotics just in case. Little did I know that everyone and their mom advises to never take antibiotics unless you really need them. Also, the condom in his wallet was missing, but he insisted he used it with me. I was on the pill. I don't know much about the law in this situation, but this sounds like it should be super illegal. Isn't this like some kind of, I don't know, malicious bioterrorism or something? Our next reply is from Air Levseti. We got married when I was 17 and he was 21. He was shipping off to sea, and I was escaping a bad home life. When he came back after his deployment, he wasn't the same person anymore. After about 6 months, he gained weight on purpose to fail his physical so he'd get kicked out of the Navy. Fast forward a year, I'm working full time, and he's sitting at home, watching anime and drinking during the day, and telling me that he was applying to jobs. I was applying to universities when my laptop died on me. I asked to use his to finish an application, and while doing so, a message popped up on his Facebook. It was a topless picture of his ex from her. I was shocked and opened it to find that they'd been dating for a long time. They started again while he was at sea in the Navy. He would talk to her and never to me, saying that he never had the time to email. She had sent him a picture because he had said how he missed having big assets like hers to play with, and how mine were just too small, so he felt like he was passionately hugging a boy or a child. I confronted him, and he made a bunch of pitiful excuses. I had my friends come to the house that day and kick him out while I went to work. He then stalked me for the next few years and made posts on his Facebook about how I was a coward. He sent emails and called from blocked numbers to tell me that a restraining order is just a piece of paper, or that our vows before God made me his property, and stuff like that. Then he bought a gun and started telling our friends that if I can't have her,
Is this
no
real?
one can.
Is this real?
That's the
Talking
thing.
to our
You never
friends
know.
and told everyone conflicting information about where I was going and moved states. I deleted all of my personal social media
You
accounts
shouldn't have
and
to
lived
do
in
shit
fear
like that,
for
man.
years, watching him continually make memes about how he loved his wife and would do anything for her. It took 8 years for me to finally get a divorce from him. And I like personal ads replies to that story. My mom had a boyfriend like that. I used to have a mom. He killed her 11 days before I turned 6. Ladies, especially young vulnerable ladies, if a man ever talks to you like that, please believe him. So
Seriously.
my instinct is telling me not to include that story because I think there's a pretty good chance this story is going to get me demonetized. But I'm specifically choosing to include it because there's really good life advice in this story.
Yeah.
To all my girl listeners out there, don't ever let a guy talk to you like that. And to all my guy listeners out there, don't ever talk to a woman like that either.
Yeah.
Our next Reddit post
seriously.
is from Fuego Diego. This story is remarkable in that it happened before the internet was widely available in the very early 90s, when the world seemed much bigger. My fiancée, Meg, had 1 semester left of college that had to be taken as an internship abroad for her major. She chose to go to Belgium for this internship. I stayed back, and the plan was that I would set up the house, and when she returned that summer, she would move directly in with me and we would set a date for the wedding. So while Meg was off in Europe calling every couple of weeks to check in, long-distance phone calls were super expensive back then. And sending me postcards and letters, I moved into a brownstone, bought furniture, etc. About 2 weeks before Meg was supposed to return, I stopped into a nearby coffee house that I had noticed down the block but had yet to visit. To my surprise, I found that my neighbor from when I'd grown up in a completely different city, Claire, was a waitress there. We hadn't seen each other since high school, so we made a plan to meet up after her shift for a cup of coffee to catch up. We met, and Claire told me that she was also engaged to a man named Ben, who was completing his course of study by working on an internship in, you guessed it, Belgium. I couldn't believe the coincidence and told her about my fiancé, and that they had to know each other. Crazy, right? A couple of days later, I stopped in for a cup of coffee, and Claire looked extremely upset. She asked if I had time to wait as she had a break coming up and that she needed to talk to me. We went outside and she told me that she had gotten a call from her Aunt Sue the day before. Aunt Sue had returned from Czechoslovakia and that something very strange had happened. While they were touring Prague, her Aunt Sue and her travel group had stayed in a local hotel, and the next morning she had run into Claire's fiancé, Ben, in the lobby with a female companion by the name of Meg.
Okay.
She said that he introduced her as a student from America, that they worked together, but it was very awkward and they both looked completely scared. Claire said that she immediately called long distance to Belgium and after several tries over the course of a day or so, got him on the phone. She asked him about the chance encounter, and he said that he had been kind of expecting her call and ended up admitting that he had been seeing Meg pretty much the entire time they were in Europe, spending
Poor
weekends
dude.
and holidays traveling around with each other. I was floored. I
Wow.
couldn't believe it. I went home and started trying to call Meg at her dorm in Belgium, finally getting through to her late in the night, early morning for her. I point blank asked her if she was dating Ben. I didn't even explain how I knew about it. She hemmed and hawed for a moment, kind of acting like I was crazy for saying something so nonsensical. But when I said that I knew Claire, she dropped the facade and admitted to all of it.
Oh my God.
So Ben and Meg had a very bittersweet homecoming. Meg got off much easier than Ben, as Claire had already left all of his belongings on the front lawn. From the day that she found out, which had been pretty much picked over by the time he got back 2 weeks later. I did pick Meg up from the airport.
Why?
I think at the time I just really wanted to see her face again when I told her that all of our friends knew what a piece of garbage
Okay.
she was, and that I never wanted to see her again. To this day, I revel in how many utterly astounding factors of complete random coincidence went into Meg and Ben being caught. And it's worth noting, they were later married and then later divorced when he cheated on her.
Oh.
The universe works in incredible and mysterious ways. And beneath that, Joe Cool replies to that story with a story of his own. My friend and his wife were in Rome a few years ago on vacation. She got a text while in the shower, and he found out she was cheating. He grabbed his passport, phone, and wallet, took a cab to the airport, and flew home without leaving a message or saying a word to her. He went home, packed his bags, moved out, and filed for divorce. He ghosted her the second he discovered it. The last conversation they ever had was her telling him she was going to take a shower. Our next reply is from Dallas. I own a
Damn.
house with my fiance. I woke up in the middle of the night and he wasn't in bed, so I went searching. His truck and another vehicle were in the driveway. Then
No.
I went upstairs and found the guest bedroom was locked.
No.
After barging my way in, I found him with another woman in bed. That bed happened to be my
No.
childhood bed. He
No.
forced me out of the room, literally grabbed me by the neck and pushed me out and closed the door back. I knew I couldn't do anything at that point, so I called his parents who lived a few blocks away. His dad showed up and another fight broke out. I ended up leaving and staying at his parents until dawn. I moved out that weekend and let the house foreclose. 9 years later, it's finally off my credit report. I'm happily married to an amazing man, and we own a beautiful home together. Our next reply is from Randy Johnson. This first started back in December, right before we went on a holiday trip to see my family. She started acting somewhat off, kinda distant, and easily aggravated. I had a suspicion that something was going on, and I'm embarrassed to admit that I snooped on her iWatch. I found some incriminating texts she had with a friend, so I confronted her in January. She tells me that she kissed a guy that she worked with, and that was it. We were having some issues in our relationship, and I chose to forgive her, and we decided to try working on some of the issues we were having. Well, fast forward to this past May, she breaks down that she wasn't honest with me, and that she actually passionately hugged this other dude. We split up after the news. We'd been together 8 years and had been engaged for almost 2 years. Our wedding date was supposed to be effing yesterday. It's still effing killing me. I don't know where to go from here. 2020 can go eat a dick. Man, if years had slogans, this would be 2020's.
Yes.
2020 can go
Yeah.
eat a dick. Our next
Yeah.
reply is from Imaringatu. A friend of mine was suspicious of her husband cheating because he went to play soccer with his friends way too often. He always came back having already showered because he would sweat while playing. One day, she sewed his soccer socks together, and when he came back all showered, she saw the socks were still sewed together, so he wasn't playing soccer at all. Our next reply is from Nap17. 4 years ago, I was dating a girl who became distant and disinterested in a lot of things we both enjoyed together. Despite attempts to talk about it, she only grew more distant, then became less available to hang out, and suddenly was working late a lot. I started getting suspicious about cheating when she was on her phone non-stop. Again, I tried to talk about it, but she wouldn't engage. She also just didn't want to break up with me for whatever reason. I was actually going to end it on my own, but one weekend when she was seemingly unavailable, some mutual friends told me they spotted her with a dude from her work and they were all over each other. Coincidentally, she had also lent me her iPad and it was synced to her phone, so I saw lots of texts between these two over that weekend. They were talking about running away together, etc. He was married and her supervisor.
Oof.
Mutual friends were also composed of her coworkers and reported them to HR. They were both forced to do training on not sleeping with coworkers. They were both denied promotion. His wife left him and she moved overseas. It sucked at the time. I was devastated, but karma got them good. That was r/Ask Reddit, and if you like this content, then check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.
Bringing the heat. That was some shit, man.
There were some really rough ones.
Dude, the cancer one was so bad. That would suck so bad.
I don't even know how you, cope with
right, I mean,
the loss of your partner and then finding out. So, I know.
Ricky Bobby, I don't know what to do with my hands. Yeah, I mean, it's just a brutal, devastating circumstance.
Sucks.
For the end of any relationship. I mean, that really sucks, the betrayal and everything. But even just when you invest so much into something and somebody and the idea of what it's going to be and what it is and all this.
Well, I think that's where people get tripped up the most is like the idea of what you think it's going to be is not, especially because we binge watch 90 Day Fiancé. It's always the case there. They always have this idea of like what they want, but it's two people,
but it's not what it actually is.
Yeah, and that's like the hardest part of any relationship, I think, is like where expectations, but like meeting each other and like understanding what the other person actually wants instead of just
be real.
Assuming.
Just be real, because if you are not, eventually, if somebody's with you long enough, they're going to find out.
Yeah.
You're going to have problems. The more shit you can go ahead and get out of the way, get out in the open, as soon as possible. Like, on the first date, don't be like, hey, by the fucking way, you know. I kind of was with my bipolar disorder and shit like that.
That's
just
different,
because
though.
I didn't want anybody to get into a situation with me without understanding why I may come across a certain way sometimes. It's not intentional and it's not personal, but I'm an ill person, so that's something that they should know.
Yeah.
I think that's appropriate, but not automatically.
Yeah.
But you spend some time with somebody and you're getting to a point where you think you want to be in a relationship with them. Be real. Don't hide shit. And later on, if it's not working, it is selfish to be like, I want to have something with somebody else as well and keep this.
Unless that's what y'all agree to.
Unless you agree, but without them knowing, you're holding them back. You're not holding them back for pain. You're saving that for later. It's going to come out somehow. Especially nowadays with all the fucking ways that there are to find out. Because, I mean, even in your circumstance, if it were not for technology, you may have never found out.
Well, I kind of suspected some things going on.
But I mean, maybe not, you know? You may have never had proof.
Yeah.
And so, for that kind of investment, you were married. I mean, it would take a lot for you to just break it off. So, love yourself, value yourself, be honest to other people, value people you're in relationships with. But if it ends up going south, it's not over for you.
Yeah.
Live your goddamn life and be a person that you appreciate and live for yourself for a little bit and figure yourself out.
It's easy
not about
to say.
you when people do this kind of shit.
Yeah.
They're the ones fucked up. A lot of times, they're the ones fucked up.
Well, usually, like in a relationship, something is not working, and instead of working on it with that person, or if the other person isn't willing to work on it, you know, you don't know the circumstances.
I don't know the circumstances.
But,
I know that's not the answer.
Right. But yeah, I mean, it's easy to be like, oh, focus on yourself. And like in those moments, it feels like...
If you're the person who drives the other person to do that because they feel trapped in the relationship and free in something else but can't leave for whatever reason, like if you're the toxic person that makes a decent person do something fucked up, I think that happens.
Yeah, I do too.
Then you still need to work on yourself and grow and develop.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't mean that you don't fix yourself if you're fucked up. That's the best thing that you can do.
No, I'm just saying, like, in those moments, like whenever you find out, it's so easy for us to sit back and be like, because, you know, we're comfortable and we're good with where we are, it's easy to be like, oh, just work on yourself and grow. Like, in those moments, it feels like you're dying. Like, you can't trust anybody, you can't do anything. But, like, the thing that I would take away, like, if I could go back and talk to myself after I found out, would be that, like, shit gets way better. It really does. Like, it sucks for a while, and you feel like you can't trust anybody or whatever.
Yeah.
But you do learn from that and appreciate the people who do you right. So, that's all.
Yeah, and, you know, always, you know, look at situations for an opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
Because even you get thrown in the dirt, unless your heart's not beating no more, you spring up, you know, you spring up from that.
Shorty sneezing.
We met each other at the end of some rough romantic situations. Yours was traumatic in the sense that, you know, you had full investment in your relationship and thought that that was reciprocated and it was a work in progress, and you totally got bailed on. Mine was that fantastical, trying to, you know, having those expectations we were talking about. And I think that all kind of culminates into situations like what you dealt with, and my situation wasn't as drastic as that. And a lot of these situations probably came from, this is not what I want out of my life, and I don't know how to leave it.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So just be honest. Honesty goes a long way, and it may suck at the very beginning of being honest with a situation like this, but it will keep a lot of people from being hurt in the process. Families included, because families, you know, grow to love people's significant others and things like that. It can be a very difficult thing to deal with. But interesting. Drama alert. You know, very interesting. Human beings are interesting. Relationships are interesting. And we want to hear from you guys. If you have a story that you would like to share with us, that would be really cool. We would appreciate, you know, you don't have to. If you don't want to tell us your shit, trust me, we get it. But if you want to get something off your chest, you feel like talking about it, the comment section's wide open. We would love to hear from you, and we've got your back, you know, just here to listen and hang out, because you listen to us talk ad nauseum. What are we at, fucking 30
I don't
minutes
even
or
know.
something? Anyway, you know, we love hearing from you all. So go ahead and share your story down in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, you should go check out r/ bringing you stuff from Reddit, which is full of some crazy stuff. Go ahead and subscribe to their channel. Hell, I'm going to do it right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go subscribe to their channel. You can like this video. You could like our video. You could subscribe to our channel. Just share the love.
I shared my fucking trauma with you guys. Like this damn video.
What do we got to do? What is it going to take for you people? What do you want from... I think that's going to do it for this video. We appreciate you all so much. Yeah. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
See you.